Hello and welcome to another Bensday with Batgirl and Ben. Hi Ben, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's busy here, but we're good, kind of busy.
Second time saying hello, and you keep breaking up, and that's kind of weird. Not breaking up, stopping and going. It's kind of weird. It's like the connection is perfect, but there's a stutter on your end. Nevertheless...
Is it possible it's my natural awkwardness and not the internet?
It could be. If you do that little stop motion stops every now and then. Yeah, it could be that. I don't know.
There we go.
Well, we were talking about Wing Commander just when we tried to start the call before. So Wing Commander 2 took how long?
Just surprised. I was talking about Wing Commander. No, it took us just a hair under 11 hours to finish Wing Commander 2 live. It was a whole lot of fun. Pretty epic ending. So
pretty epic ending. Yeah.
In the very final dogfight, I'm hitting afterburners and my tab key flies off. So my fighter just slows down. And Chris Reed, my buddy from WC News, is there next to me, and he's frantically trying to put my keyboard back together while I made a bunch of SAR stuff. And he managed it. I hit afterburners, flew away from them, turned around, blew up the last guy, and ended the game. It was pretty great.
That sounds pretty good. I know that every time I play that game, I wind up having to fool around with the DOSBox settings.
I've got a good setup. I can send it to you.
That would be awesome because the computers today are so fast, and that game wasn't made with any differential programming, I guess, built into it.
It was, but it wasn't quite up to it didn't quite see how fast it would get. So it slows you down to a point, but not enough.
Yeah.
So,
I noticed.
Also, I noticed the GOG version comes with like the right aspect ratio, and so there's a bunch of tweaks you can do.
So do you have all those tweaks and everything for people to play with?
I do. I'll send you up a copy of my config for it.
And Ben will send them to me about as quickly as he sends ships out to you guys that win them. Sorry about those dragonflies, people. I'm sure I'll send Ben another email to remind him this week.
Yeah, send me a reminder and we'll get them done.
Yeah, embarrassing. It's not your fault. Come on, you're trying to get a big giant game done for everybody. So people are talking about Ben's dancing emote?
Oh yeah, one of our backers added it as an option on Twitch, so you can now get the Ben dance when you're twitching.
So how you feel about that?
I think it's cool. I don't know. I like that stupid dance.
All right. So before I go, I think it's pretty awesome. I want to ask you a question before we go forward. Last week we started some controversy over the F8 Lightning when I asked you if you ever think it would be in game, and you said well, tell me what you said.
I don't remember what I said, but I did see the thread where people assumed we were just going to tell it immediately. That's not the case. We're trying to come up with a way we play with it in the persisted universe, not coming up with a way to sell it to you.
Well, it is possible you're going to play it in Squadron 42, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with your current model of Star Citizen not just being a game that people play and move on after a year, but something to be more like EverQuest and World of Warcraft and other games that stay around for a long time, it's safe to say that at some point the F8 is not going to be that latest, greatest, do-everything fighter, and it might find its way into Star Citizen.
Absolutely. I mean, by that time, we wouldn't be doing concept sales or anything like that. But yeah, I do foresee some future time when it's not military hardware, it's not first-rate military hardware anymore, or even if it's not, they up the civilian version just like they did with the Hornet. I mean, that's a natural future adaptation. It's what they did with all their other fighters. Like, I could see it happening in the future, but we're not really thinking about anything like that in detail right now.
Okay. Stuart Knight had a question after last week's...
I can go back to Wing Commander 2. Wing Commander 1, the Rapier was the reward best fighter in the game. It was awesome, and you could just cut through the kill after once you got the Rapier. In Commander 2, they bring back the Rapier. It's now the G model instead of the A, and it's kind of clunky. It doesn't have the same ITTS anymore. The guns aren't special anymore. So the same thing will happen with our ships eventually. That was after 10 years. So
I thought the Ferret was like the best ship of Wing Commander 2.
It is, because you fly it so much. When this is during the stream, you fly the Ferret so much, and it's so simple. simple. It's almost, the first time you switch from keyboard and mouse to a full HOTAS setup and you learn all the buttons, you can kind of, your fighter is now part of you because you don't have to move your hands. You just know what finger you move and you're firing a particular weapon or you're doing some particular command. The Ferret's the same way, but it's the opposite. It's so simple that you don't need to learn anything, or you can just jump right in with it. It's 2 guns and an engine.
Okay. So why does Chris kill off strong female characters early in one game and at the very end after you start loving Angel in Wing Commander 3?
Well, I think he kills everyone. I mean, he's kind of the George R.R. Martin of space. Although I did notice about female characters in Wing Commander 2. It's an incredibly female game. You've got a whole cast of, Angel is your commander.
Right.
They're all like competent, respectful professionals who are equal or in most cases superior of the men on the Concordia.
Then in the movie he kills off Rosie.
Yeah. He kills Rosie and Knight and Iceman, or not Iceman, Bossman. He just kills a lot of people.
Yes, he does. Well, it was a very vicious war.
Well,
Stuart Knight wants to know, I have a question. Are there any plans for cheats in Squadron 42? Perhaps a code that lets you fly X in a mission, or guns never overheat, or infinite flare chaff missiles.
Yeah, we don't really have the traditional cheats anymore. I'm sure there'll be like console commands. The game seems to have come a long way from the add something at the command line to be in vulnerable days. I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there will be. If not something we ship with, I'm sure people will have developed their own trainers and such. It's
okay.
So no from us, but yes in general.
Yes, in general. Okay. A lot of people are saying it's nice to see you getting healthy. Just so you know, that's like a very big theme from many people.
Oh, that's very nice.
Are you feeling back up to full?
I am, except I had a doctor's appointment this morning, so they took my blood.
Oh. They have to take your blood. They have to know if you're clean.
But look how they matched it with my shirt for the bandage, right?
That was pretty nice. Whenever I go, they just put a pink one on there and think I'm going to be happy with it. I'm like, but I'm wearing purple today. It doesn't go, but Michael Brenton wants to know, the salvage design doc sounds like it's almost done every time it is mentioned in a studio report. Any hints? Why I haven't seen it yet? Ask Ben to blink twice if we get it before CitizenCon.
I don't think it'll be before CitizenCon. I guess I can't blink.
So we're not getting it. One ship or multiple ships during CitizenCon that we will be able to purchase?
I believe it's just one new ship, but we'll bring back some old favorites. I don't know. CitizenCon doesn't seem like it's so much about buying stuff to me. It's more about showing the community. It's November when you have to buy stuff. I'm
waiting for that inevitable release date for Squadron 42. Of course, you're not going to say anything. So is everyone. And all of a sudden, you quiet down. Yeah, okay. It's coming around the corner.
I have no news to share.
All right. From Ben Mowbray, who was one of our first winners on the network for a ship. At least I think he was one of my longest supporters, too. Why is the Reliant Kore not available for open sale right now, despite being flyable? That's actually a very good question. We really should make it a permanent ship. It's not one of the ones that we said would be limited early in their campaign. Yeah, we talked about that before, and you said that when it came out, it would be available, like, consistently. Yeah. But it was just the core. You said that the variants might not be available. Yeah. No, we definitely should make that available. We'll start up an email thread with the other marketing folks, and we'll hammer that out. Awesome. See, it's totally oversight on our part. Okay, we just have to remember we're talking to the director of ships right now, so that's pretty awesome. Oh boy. I just lost my place on your wonderful questions, folks. So sorry about that. Quick, next to the help. Help. Oh, by the way, for all of you that support me on Patreon.com, thank you so very much. I've made it much easier for you. The original one was set up kind of wonky, going by a per show that was at patreon.com/Batgirl. If you go over to patreon.com/fantasyrole, FANTASYROLE, it's a lot easier to help the show there, because you could become a patron for a monthly $1 a month instead of having to figure out what to spend on per show. It's a lot easier. I'm trying to move all my people over to that one. All right.
How's the D&D thing going?
How's the D&D thing going? We are at an impasse because the software that's great for streaming gaming, which is either OBS or XSplit, is not very good for live streaming 3 or 4 live video cameras. So we're being forced into a product called Wirecast, which costs about $500. It's actually $1,000, but for what we can use it for right off the bat, it's about $500, and it's expensive. So we're hoping that people will help us out with that if they like watching that. Plus, if you help me with that, I'll be with Sophie Girl over at CitizenCon, and we're going to be doing some live streaming, and that will definitely help us set up more than one camera when we want to stream. What we have here is Carrick Loner from Stuart B. I was so excited to CCU my Aquila to the Carrick this past Carrick Terrapin sale that I activated the upgrade shortly after it was announced that the Aquila was being reworked. So my question is, would it be possible to get an Aquila Loner for the Carrick owners? Thanks for any response, and keep up the great work, Batgirl and Ben.
Well, I see what we're doing here, because this is going to have me tell you what order the ships are coming in, which I can't do. But I will say it's not necessarily the case that the Aquila will be done before the Carrick. If it is, we will do an Aquila Loner. If the Carrick's done first, it won't matter.
So if the Carrick's done first, will the Aquila owners get a Carrick Loner?
No, because it doesn't go over. This is right rules.
You'll have to wait for a fly-free ship week. Okay, this one should have been today also. Having just met 80 amazing citizens at the Florida Bar Citizen event, it reinforced what a great community we have. What are your thoughts on how might that change with the influx of FPS players coming for Star Marine? And he says they tend to be aggressively PvP.
That's kind of one of those like base societal things where you're like, oh, the other guys, they're the bad ones. They're going to come here. They're going to ruin our experience. And we've kind of had that over and over again. When Star Citizen first kicked off, it was this core of like older, people who knew Chris back in the day, Wing Commander fans, and they said, oh, once these young kids discover this amazing game, it's going to ruin it for everybody. It doesn't happen. I would view it less as something to be afraid of, as an opportunity for our community to, show them how great we are. We should embrace anybody who wants to play Star Citizen, and we should show them that we're decent, good people, and they should want to adopt our ways rather than anything else. For FPS stuff, who knows what kind of audience we'll get. We're not, going after the Call of Duty. Everybody who's playing Call of Duty. It's more of Star Marine. It's more of something that is for our backers. They've got plenty of FPSs of their own. I don't see this community changing overnight because of Star Marine. I think it'll change overnight once the game is done and it's the best thing ever, and everybody wants to play, and then we'll have something to talk about. But if be kind to people, that's the best advice I can give to anybody.
It's kind of a tough question for you, being the community, the head of the community group, right?
Yeah, you'll never have you'll never get to go, oh, the community sucks, they're terrible.
Yeah.
It's just not, obviously, I would never say something like that. I also don't think anything like that. It's an incredible community, and so far it's just gotten better as time goes on, and it's the diversity, the different groups that come into it has just made it better, and I don't see that changing.
Well, I think that one of the best parts of the game for me is that it does bring in such a diverse set of different players. that you do have the hardcore PvPers and what they would call the Care Bears, and what I call the people that like to engage in that self immersion, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that because the game draws so many different types, I think it's going to be better in the long run because your universe is going to be filled with players. With the PvP slider, you're not necessarily going to have to fight so many different people, right? I mean, that's the thought process. But you get this rich, living, breathing, dynamic universe that Chris wants to bring us.
And I think that goes back to the very concept of the game. There's something for everyone, not everything for one person.
Plus, I look at it a different way. If I have some cargo on a Caterpillar or a Constellation, one of those hardcore PvP first-person shooter people, I might want to hire to put in my ship to keep people from boarding me.
Yeah, there's going to be a role for everybody.
Yeah, so it does make me feel better that they're there. All right, we're going to go to Marcus's question because I like to laugh. Question for Ben. I don't know if I could do the Marcus voice today. The Colonial Movers, of course, have never got... Okay, we're going to start this over. I'm starting to lose my voice again. The Colonial Movers, of course, never get lost on our wave tour delivery. Though, on occasion, the rest of the universe seems to misplace itself relative to our position. Will we be able to create custom quantum drive coordinates so that our friends can find us? On that note, is quantum driving, quantum jumping, or quantum leaping? Oh boy.
It is quantum driving. The lore folks were very specific about this. It's not a jump. It's an engine. As for coordinates, yes, I'm sure. I don't have the details yet, but we will have all sorts of ways for you to meet up with folks at set your own nav points. By the way, how great is it that Colonial Movers is still around? I still remember their original videos from the Wings Hangar days. They did that kind of serial thing. I love that they're still
They're a wonder. Yeah, Marcus and Sarzu, awesome people. I miss Kin Shadow, though. I mean, he was awesome, too. But all those people, right?
Yeah, they're all good eggs.
Yeah. We need a show that...
Except you, of course.
No, I suck. At least. That's what my son's saying waiting at the football field right now. Actually, just kidding. Just kidding. He did say I'm ready, but he's at a friend's house.
Is that some kind of future watch?
It's a... I don't know. It's my Moby Glass. If only that were true. Jared Miller says, "Hey, Batgirl, love the show. I would love for you to ask Ben my question." That's all I got. No, just kidding. Are there any plans to modify how manned turrets work? Currently, it is near impossible to stay locked on a target while the pilot turns and maneuvers. To solve this, I would love if the turret stayed fixed on the location you are aiming, counteracting the turning of the ship so that you could, imagine there being something like a, what do they call them, gyroscope built into a spaceship. They don't have those, right? And keep you locked on target, thus making it worth having somebody in your turret rather than their own ship next to you.
Yes, we are looking at turrets and how they stay stabilized. That's one of the things you kind of discover when you switch from single player. Like when I was playing with Commander 2, and I would frequently jump back to the turret to take a assault or a drop you off my tail, and it would be fine because it would just keep your ship flying straight. Real players don't do that at all. So yeah, we are looking at ways to combat the fact that a turret gunner gets a little bit sick trying to aim.
You know, the U.S., by the end of World War II, had figured out that manned turrets were not good. So what they did is they made remote turrets, right? B-29, the Black Widow had remote turrets, right? Mm-hmm. So when the gunner pointed at a certain location, any of the guns in that, that could hit that target would point on that target. Is there any thought of like implementing that on a ship or types of ships in the future as possibly upgrades to the manned turrets that are on the ships right now?
Maybe it's certainly something we've thought about, but it's it detracts from gameplay a little bit when you don't have, it becomes sort of that freelancer model where your guns auto target.
It's not that it auto targets. You still need a player that is able to track that target and fire on it. Because right now, I'm going to agree with Jared Miller. Playing in a turret is frustrating.
No question there.
In order to be good, it's not Luke Skywalker and Han Solo blowing up the TIE fighters. It's more like trying to throw a pebble at a bullet that's coming by you. You know what I mean? You're not going to hit it. So I know that you guys are doing your best, and I trust you. And having radar lock on takes away the fun you want, but having it the way it is right now takes away the fun that we want. We want that moment that Luke has where he screams, "I got one!" You know? So
no, they definitely need a stabilization of some sort.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me challenge you on that. I mean,
of course. You should challenge me on anything. That's what I'm here for.
I just want the game to be awesome, you know? I've been waiting so long for Chris to make a game like this, and the first thought I had about a game like this was playing Pacific Commander, not even Wing Commander. It was...
Pacific Strike.
Yeah, Pacific Strike. Thank you. Pacific Strike.
That is one boring game.
It was boring as hell. That's why I was looking for something like that to happen. Oh my God, was it bad. So we saw the 10 for the Chairman come out and have all those wonderful heads in there. How many of you in the office have had your head scanned?
I don't think it's anybody here in the LA office, but
Sandy?
I think a whole bunch of people in UK. Sandy has, because she was there. Well, she has a full super head for Squadron.
I was wondering if I could ship you Batcat and if you can get her scanned into the game.
I would probably not send her back.
Oh, you want that cat?
I want that cat, yeah.
Oh, God, she's awesome. She's like my headrest. All right, and we have now seen that we're definitely getting these two brandy new ships, which one is just a variant of one that we already have in our hangars. The
for 2.6?
Yeah, the Herald and the Hoplight. Mm-hmm. The Hoplight coming out, does it lessen the value of like a Redeemer? Like, what was the thought process with going with the Hoplight when you already had the Redeemer dropship?
It's just like all our ships. So the Hoplite is a dropship, but it's not the dedicated dropship. The same as you see with our starters. There's the Aurora, and then there's the we have the cargo Aurora, which gets it carries more cargo than a standard Aurora, but it's nothing like having a hull A. So it's a spectrum. So I believe the Hoplite was actually created for a specific sequence in Squadron, and we're adapting it for the rest of the universe. That was the origin of it. I don't want to spoil anything in particular there, but it's a spectrum. All the ships should exist on a spectrum.
Now, with all the hype that came out around the next great starship and the Redeemer being out there for quite some time and not being flyable now, and also there was talk a while ago about it getting a rework, where are we at with the Redeemer at this point?
The rebuild is scheduled. I saw it on the schedule earlier this week. Actually, they actually scheduled. Production has finally scheduled a bunch of the ships that have been waiting forever. So we have that. We have the resources allocated, and we know when it's going to happen. It is one of those ones where it was built by an outside group to standards that have changed a lot since then. So it needs a bunch of work to get it flyable and awesome again.
A whole new item system.
Yeah, it has to adapt to a whole lot of stuff that's changed.
Different
since
pipes and everything. Yeah,
but it'll be good once we got it done, because that's a pretty badass ship.
All right, we talked about this, and we're going to have two more questions. I'm going to go get my child. We talked a little bit about this, but Dumpers Depot being the place to buy and sell your salvage, or in this case, the parts.
Yeah.
And is that something that we're going to see in the near future? Because there seems to be some people that were confused about your answer, because we see them on the space station and over in Area 18, but there's still no usefulness from those when we go there.
Yeah, they're there because they're coming. One of the things we did when we planned the landouts was, if you think back to Privateer, you have a bunch of specific things you need at every base. There's always a bar to get fixer missions. There's always a mercenaries guild. There's always a merchants guild. There's always a ship dealer. There's always a repair area. Always a mission computer. It's the same in Star Citizen. One of the first things the lore guys and designers worked together to come up with was, okay, every station needs to have a place to get a ship, a place to fix a ship, a place to get clothing. Those base essentials, and then you wrap those up in lore. So sometimes the salvage place at Upper's Depot, sometimes something else, and then you assign that to the different bases. So what you're seeing in the game right now is that we've planned out how these landouts are going to work when all the systems are online. They're just not online yet.
Okay.
And they added that layer of fiction by having there's like opening 2046 or 2946, like centuries mixed up, 2946. So there's a little bit of you're seeing it open before your eyes, but that doesn't really work in the lore. It's more of an immediate thing.
Speaking of, people are wondering where their 2946 Aurora is.
It's coming. Maybe more of a 2947 Aurora, but it is coming.
Okay. And I have my question, but this is going to be in response to this gentleman's question. And I'm going to make a question out of his question, which was really a statement. I bought many packages in order to be able to customize my crew. Mm-hmm. Are you still going to be able to have multiple character slots, all with their own unique look that you could use as characters in game? And my piece to follow that up with, being that the character generator is going to be coming sometime after 3.0 goes live, will we be given our character slots so we could build a number of different characters?
Yes, when the character stuff comes online. So no changes to the plans in that regard, but it's not time yet.
And the follow-up to that would be, where would you find character slots in the future? Would you find them into the online store, or are you going to find them kind of like buying somebody in like a bar?
It would be much more. Of course, anything like that would be in the universe rather than go to the website and buy another login or something. So we want to transition everything, ship buying, item buying, rental, everything over to the game.
All right. Now, folks, I'm going to have Sandy on the show next week. She has agreed to meet with me on Monday. And the type of questions asked her are based on marketing, and you could ask some merchandising, but that's really Alexis's, right?
Well, Sandy will love any of that. She's our fearless leader.
Well, I'm going to try to get some time with Alexis when I get to Cupertino. See, every time I go to California, I think I'm going to my home base, and I shouldn't say that. But when I go out to Santa Monica, I'm going to try to get some time with you guys and say hey and get you on the show. But
I just can't follow these clues.
Yeah, right. These clues. Cupertino. Yeah, HP. Yeah, San Jose Sharks. Yeah, that's it. I work for them. No, I would like you guys to send me your questions to starcitizenaa@gmail.com. She can answer many of the questions. Maybe we can ask her about the Logitech and Saytech merger. We'll find out what's going on with that. But just be nice. Sandy spends a lot of time and effort and puts a lot of her soul into this game. And without her, Chris would not have even started this game. So just think of it that way.
Running would not have happened without her.
Yeah, so we'll have her on the game next week. Please think about helping us out on the Patreon page. Ben mentioned D&D. That happens on Wednesdays at twitch.tv/fantasy roll spelled ROLE. And with that said, Ben, thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking to you.
I like talking to you as well.
Yeah, and I'm getting excited to come out there and see you guys and get some live video with you.
Yes, we're going to have some fun.
Yeah, I know. We are going to have some fun. I don't know if you're going to have time to have fun with me, but I'll be out there with Sophie Girl, and I'm on her show on Sunday, which is called Diverse the Verse. And I'll leave information down below once I get the link for that. And with that said, Ben, you guys all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon. And Ben, thank you.
Of course.
Bye.